Hi everybody, my name is Dennis and welcome back to another album review. Today we're reviewing the latest record from Chance the Rapper entitled The Big Day. Oh boy, this one's a doozy. This thing has gotten pretty widespread hate from fans and critics alike. It just seems like no one really likes this album except for those with very little taste. And I'm sure there are people who can find legitimate reasons for liking it, but for me, at least, those reasons are few and far between. There are a couple of decent songs on here, I have to admit. I did enjoy the song Do You Remember featuring Ben Gibbard of Death Cab for Cutie. I thought Ben Gibbard's vocals on the hook were actually really gorgeous, and I didn't think Chance's verses were that bad. They were significantly better than a lot of the other crap he brings on this album, so I'll take what I can get. The song Eternal featuring Smino was another decent song on here. I actually really liked both the Chance's and Smino's verses on here, even if the lyrics weren't all that interesting. Just sonically, I did find them very enjoyable. I thought the production was smooth. I thought Smino's delivery was really smooth. And I thought Chance's delivery was about as much as you can ask for on this album. So overall, pretty good song. I enjoyed it. And there really just wasn't that much that I liked on here. I Got You was a decent song. I really liked the hook on here, but the hook really carried the song. Chance's verses are fine, I guess, but really the hook carried the song. Great hook, one of the better hooks on the album. And there's those three songs on this hour-long project. And oh boy, I don't want to talk about most of these songs, because some of them are just so bland, forgettable, and frustrating that I really just want to repress them from my memory. We have the opening track, All Day Long, which is one of the worst lyrical performances from anybody I have heard all year. This song alone has made me considering putting a worst lyrics of the year list in the end of the year, but I'm probably not going to, because all 10 of them would probably be from this song. Oh my god, especially just the opening few lines. The lyrics are absolutely abysmal. If you don't believe me, just listen to it, read the lyrics, and you will agree. These lyrics are some of the most brain-dead, incompetent, stupid nonsense that I've heard in a long time. Oh my god, I hate the lyrics on this thing, and it doesn't even sound that good. Granted, John Legend's hook on here is actually good, and that's the only reason that I don't despise everything about this track, because I actually do like John Legend on here. I hope he got a fat check for appearing on this garbage. The song Hot Shower is an absolutely abysmal cut. I think the beat is one of the most annoying things I've ever heard. It wants to be this simple, stripped back kind of sound, but it just ends up being going back and forth between boring and frustrating. I think the lyrics, once again, are stupid. They're trying way too hard to be quirky, random, and funny, and they just end up sounding abysmally idiotic. I think pretty much everyone on here sounds like hot garbage. I think DaBaby's the only one who even sounds half decent on here, and even then, he is far from saving this song. Oh my god, I can't stand anything about this song. I never want to hear it ever again. We also have the song Rue, which is another horrendous one. Chance's verses on here are bad. I hate the hook. It's easily one of, if not the worst hook on the album. It sounds just abysmal. The Big Day is another horrendous cut. I just listen to the point during the 2/3 point in the track, and that's really all you need to hear. Everything else about it is, granted, not as bad, but it's not good. It's not good. This is the kind of album that gets worse the more you listen to it. I have to be completely honest, on my very first listen of it, I didn't think it was that bad. I was surprised at where all the hate was coming from. I was probably feeling, if anything, a strong 5, light 6. And my opinion of it, every time I listened to it, just dropped significantly. Um, the first half of the album I'd actually say is generally listenable. That's where all three of the songs I enjoyed mostly were from, and some of the other songs on there aren't as insufferable. Songs like "We Go High" aren't horrible. I mean, it's better than the second half of this album. The second half of this is really where things go bad. Ballin' Flossin', Shawn Mendes sounds like crap on here. He doesn't fit the beat at all. I don't know why he was picked for this. He doesn't suit anything on here. They should have picked literally anyone else, but whatever, it just doesn't sound good. 5-Year Plan is okay. It ends up just being a kind of forgettable, sickeningly sweet song. And not only on this track, but there are plenty of tracks on here where Chance constantly reminds you that he's married and how much he loves being married, and you know how great it is to finally be married. And it's great because now he's finally married. He reminds you constantly. If you listen to the whole thing and you don't know he's married, you didn't listen to it. This album is just a doozy. It's a real doozy. Chance once again just sounds generally uninspired on this track. The lyrics again are just sickeningly sweet. I don't mind a sentimental cut. I don't mind a sweet love song, but the dude just takes it way too far. It becomes just this sickening mess of a song. And granted, it's nowhere near as bad as a lot of the other cuts on here. I would say this is another listenable cut. And I do think there are plenty of listenable songs on here, and it keeps the album from being even worse of an atrocity, but there really just aren't enough good songs for this hour-long project to be decent. The song Slide Around, granted I do think the Nicki Minaj verse isn't bad, but that's pretty much all it has going for it. Everything else about it I really couldn't care less about. Found a Good One is another absolute garbage song. It's just such an annoying beat. The background singers are irritating. Chance's verses on here are bad. There's nothing redeemable about this song. Just skip it. And the concluding song, Zanies and Fools, is nothing all that interesting. It's another listenable cut. There's definitely a lot worse on here. I could listen to this one and not want to gouge my ears out, but it ends up just being kind of mediocre, if anything. I don't think the beat is anything all that special. Again, Nicki Minaj is also featured on this song, and I do think she presents a decent verse, but it's really just nothing about this song makes it great. And that's pretty much all I have to say about specific tracks. Now, overall, this album is horribly written. It not just the opening cut, but there is not a single moment on here that I thought the lyrics were actually interesting. They range anywhere from sickeningly sweet to confusing to stupid, and those are pretty much all you're gonna get from this lyrics-wise. There are a couple of decent beats, there are some legitimately catchy moments on here, but a lot of them wear off after a couple listens, and Chance's vocals on some of these songs are just absolutely abysmal. He just sounds like absolute crap. Now, granted, there were a couple songs on here that I thought he had decent verses, but more often than not, features are what carried him. And even on the bad songs, there were features that made the songs okay. Megan Thee Stallion had a good verse on her featured song. Nicki Minaj did fine on both of her features. DaBaby, even though Hot Shower is a steaming pile of garbage, his verse was fine, I guess, but there was no saving that song. I hate it. I really hate it. Spoiler alert, it'll probably be on my worst songs of the year list. But I guess I can't hate this album too much. It's mostly just sweet and sentimental, and it does get sickening at points, but there are a lot worse emotions that you could get from lyrics. Again, there just isn't anything special about this. The beats are oftentimes irritating, if not completely forgettable. Chance's delivery on here really isn't all that great, generally speaking, and there just really isn't anything legitimately praiseworthy I can say about this album aside from a couple of songs and a decent amount of features. So, I mean, this album has a couple things going for it, but nothing all that great. I'm feeling a light 3 on this. I can't hate it too much, but that's about the best I can give it at this point. If you listen to the album, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Be sure to tell me how wrong my opinion is, as always, and I'll see you in the next review.